So you probably don't need to own as much gold as you think you do to start building real wealth. We're going to discuss that in just a minute. Now, I own a whole bunch of gold as I do silver, both physically and in my IRA. And of course, you definitely don't need the amount of gold that I have, but I want to talk about the minimum amount of gold you should have. And I have a proven action plan that can get anyone there no matter what. Are you ready to build real wealth? Give me just a few minutes and we're going to explain how tons of people have done it through this system. Quick reminder, make sure you subscribe to Tag Economy if you haven't already. Our community is growing very quickly. So, to get personal with you, in my early 20s, I was a heroin addict and I was totally broke. I was able to completely change my life around, and I was a millionaire by the time I hit 30, and I got off heroin around 27 or so. After I turned my life around, I was always good at making money. The millions I made by 30 was all from just working hard, but none of that was from investing. That didn't come till like my mid 30s. I always thought I'll just work harder and get more money. Pretty stupid way to look at it, because in my mid 30s, I learned that making the proper investments can make you a whole lot more money for a whole lot less effort. And my goal is to help you with everything I learned over the years in my journey. And look, living paycheck to paycheck blows. I did it. I did it for a long time. And I really want to help people get out of this cycle. This will also help you understand how much gold you need to own and how to do it, more important. I'm going to help you with an actionable plan that has worked for many people. So one thing you need to understand is that gold is a little bit more difficult to stack than silver. That's because silver is cheaper, so it's just easier to make smaller purchases. But don't worry, I got you covered. We're going to get it done. I'm going to show you how you can stack gold where we can make it very affordable and, more importantly, very doable. We're going to get a complete game plan together as well. So when it comes to stacking gold, I love how gold is just so much easier to transport and store than silver is. And don't get me wrong, I love silver and I have a lot of it, but holy is it a pain in the ass to transport and store. Damn whiny little silver. All right, so gold comes in all different sizes. Now, I personally have everything from a 1 gram bar, which you can see. Actually, this is a 2 gram bar right here. I couldn't find my 1 gram bar. So this 2 gram bar is worth about $200, but you can get a 1 gram bar for about $100. Then I have a 1/10 ounce coin here, and you can get these for about 260, 270 or so. This is an American Eagle, a 1/10 ounce American Eagle, all the way up to a 10 ounce bar, which is my biggest piece. You can see this is a Lady Fortuna. And of course, 10 ounces, as you can see on the front there. And this is worth about $22,000, this piece right here. Now, as you first start stacking gold, I recommend that you start with the smaller stuff, right? Like stuff like this and stuff like this. You don't need the really big pieces to start. Even though the premiums are higher, saving up to buy larger pieces just never works. And I'm going to explain why in just a minute. Let's first start with the minimum amount of gold that you need to stack, 1 ounce. That's our starting point, and we're going to get you there within a minimum of 6 months. And look, I already know what you're thinking because I've been there. I don't have anywhere near enough money to buy 1 ounce of gold. That's okay because I have a game plan that works like a charm. So let's discuss it. Our game plan is to buy 1 gram of gold a week at minimum. And I know, you're living paycheck to paycheck. You have no extra funds. Believe me, I've been there. But as I did back then, let's start with why don't you have those extra funds? How many times a week do you order out or do you go to restaurants? How often are you drinking alcohol? How often are you a smoker? Are you smoking? My sister-in-law just recently quit smoking and she saves over $100 a week just from smoking. That's $100, which can go to a gram of gold per week. Goal met within 6 months from that alone. And I have friends with families who eat out multiple times a week. Do you know how much money they would save if they just stopped ordering from Domino's or going out to Applebee's multiple times a week? I mean, we're talking $300 to $400 a week. That's 3 to 4 grams of gold a week. Goal of 1 ounce met within like 2 months. I always find that eating out and ordering food is the biggest killer of people living paycheck to paycheck. So cutting that one out alone is huge, not to mention you'll be healthier and you'll be more clear minded. And then, of course, smoking and drinking are obviously in the same realm, right? You stop those, you're going to save a lot of money. You're also going to be healthier and happier in the long term. So I found that 95% of people who are living paycheck to paycheck, as I was back in the day, and can't afford to stack gold, have plenty of room in their budget to cut things out to have the money to stack gold. Now, you may not want to make those changes, and you probably won't, but I'm going to explain how this is even bigger than stacking gold. It goes way beyond just stacking a little bit of gold. This is about changing your mindset and building your long term wealth. And we're talking about real wealth here, right? But before we go into that, for the 5% who maybe like really have no room to cut expenses, I want to give you a really good quick tip. So you can get a side hustle. An easy place to start is by joining a site like care.com, right? Where you go there and you pick up some type of side jobs here and there. And I have friends that are making $200 to $300 a night babysitting from jobs they found on care.com. That's a lot of money. Or they're pet sitting for like $500 a week, $1,000 a week as a side gig. And I have other friends that do multiple jobs a week from a place like care.com and are making an additional couple $1,000s a month. If you're looking for extra money, I highly recommend you sign up for something like care.com. It doesn't have to be that, but it can be something similar. And there's tons of other sites you can get side gigs from. And some examples of those, we got solidgigs.com, you got fiverr.com, that's 2 R's on Fiverr. You got Upshift, you got Nextdoor, and of course, Facebook groups. They can be a very good source for finding side gigs. I don't have the money is never a good excuse. It's complete bullshit, and I used to say it all the time. If you say that I just don't have the money or the time, you're full of shitty excuses. I know because so was I for a very long time. Now, let's talk about why stacking is extremely important beyond the gold thing, especially for people who are living paycheck to paycheck. Stacking allows you to build real wealth, right? And it also helps you change all those bad spending habits. And here's how we're going to make sure that we do that. Now, when you get that extra $100 from, whether you're not eating out anymore or you're getting that additional money from the side gig, you buy your gold immediately. We do not put that money in a savings account or a top drawer dresser and wait to buy a larger amount. I don't care that we are paying higher premiums. The simple fact is, if you don't buy it now with the cash you have, like right now, it's going to be used for something else. That cash is going to go to something else. You're going to end up spending it on something else that you need. Or better yet, your wife is going to do it for you, right? She needs her nails done. Poof, that $100 is going. I'd much rather buy now and pay higher premiums than not buy now and spend that money on something useless, because that is what is going to happen for like 99% of you. And if you're married, that number goes up to 100%. It's gone out the window no matter what. Okay. Sorry, fellas. Wifey wins that battle. Hand it over. Now, in all seriousness, when you buy your small amount of gold each week, you are teaching yourself these positive spending habits, but you're also building that real wealth. If you get just 1 gram of gold a week for a year, you're going to have over $5,000 worth of gold by the end of the year. And we're talking minimum amount here. There's absolutely no reason you can't buy multiple grams a week if you cut more expenses or get some more side gigs. And some people may wonder, well, how is this any different than stacking cash? And let me tell you, it's much different. Number one, cash isn't real wealth. It's fake money that has zero intrinsic value and is quickly making an exit in our financial system. I don't want to get all into that portion of it. That's another video for another day. But the more important thing is number two, right? When you want that new video game, or when wifey wants to go get her nails done, or you just want to try out that new pepperoni pizza from Domino's, if you have cash, you're going to give in. You're going to buy what you want, okay? Cash is just too easy to access. If you have gold, what you would have to do is you would actually have to go to the local coin shop. You would have to sell your gold to get the cash to buy what you're wanting. Notice I said wanting, not needing. Big difference there. So the gold is not only a real store of value and wealth, but It also puts a barrier in place for all those meaningless purchases that you're going to spend the cash on. Not to mention, it's an inflationary hedge, and all of the charts right now are showing a long due bull run coming for precious metals. So instead of losing value like your cash, your gold is going to build your wealth and multiply itself. So you have your minimum amount of gold to get to 1 ounce. That's where I want you to start. You also now have an actionable game plan to get there. Cut expenses, get a side gig, or do both. Sounds so simple, but this is exactly one of the first moves I made when I turned my life around from being a broke heroin addict. The big changes start with the little changes. This isn't just about stacking an ounce of gold, right? And saving up maybe 10 grand, maybe 20 grand worth of gold. In the end, that's nothing, okay? This is about getting habits in place that can build true wealth. As you build these habits, you can grow your wealth much quicker than you ever imagined you could. So, what I want you to do is leave a comment and I want some commitments from you. How much gold are you going to stack over the next 6 months? Minimum requirement is 1 ounce, okay? But I want to know what your goal is. Comment and let me know. All right, let's get it. Talk soon.